I got diagnosed with Crohn's disease when I was 26. It's an inflammatory bowel disease and it comes under the bracket of autoimmune. It's also known as a chronic illness, which means you're going to have it for life. My history of medication has been a long string of immunosuppressant drugs, all of which eventually failed to control the flare-ups. The last treatment I was put on was a biologic anti-TNF therapy. I had a very negative reaction to the substance. My body felt numb for days, and when I communicated these side effects to my specialist, I was immediately pulled off the drugs. I was invited back into the consultation room where the next round of conversations included surgery plans, which scared me. Fear and worry come hand in hand with a diagnosis like Crohn's disease. I started experiencing anxiety shortly after I was released from hospital, and the anxiety disorder intensified in correlation with the Crohn's disease symptoms. I started getting panic attacks right in the period that I was getting negative side effects from the biologic drugs. Anyone who suffered from anxiety knows that panic attacks are the most extreme symptoms of an anxiety disorder and can be very debilitating. I first found out about Robert through my father, who he used to race motorbikes with. My father had contacted me to tell me the basic theory behind Robert's therapy, and it sounded really appealing to me. Robert's therapy is based on understanding that emotions play a key role in the development of symptoms. The mantra is heal the emotion, heal the symptom. The purpose of the therapy is to resolve biologically active emotions. I responded really well to EFT, emotional freedom technique. It was introduced to me as early as my first session, and although I found it really difficult, I got such a release from doing it, it gave me the motivation to keep going. Robert helped me understand that EFT is a way to code in language to my subconscious mind with the purpose of freeing trauma that's locked down there. I really enjoyed this newfound skill, and it's a tool I'll have in my locker forevermore. There was a real light bulb moment during session 5. Robert and I had a conversation for around 3 hours, and Robert sensed that I was having my eureka moment. Things were starting to make sense. All the dots on the trauma timeline had been connected, and Robert's alternative take on illness had really hit home. Hypnotherapy was another one of Robert's go-to practices. He tailored his approach based on what he had learnt about me. It was set in the meditation zone, and I was still fully conscious of everything that was happening in the room, but he offered up a space for my subconscious to give in. I was surprised at how quickly a traumatic event revealed itself, and EFT proved to be very effective at getting to that memory. I was definitely in no deep state of hypnosis, but it was the right approach for my situation. Kinesiology was also used on me during some sessions. I just had to lie down and let my muscles offer up responses to questions. It was really relaxing. When I first met Robert, I just had a bad reaction to my last medicine, so I was naturally fearful of what other concoction of drugs were going to be offered up, or even worse, if I would have to get surgery. Each session lasted around 3 hours, but after one session I felt less stressed out and more in control because I'd secured an alternative with Robert. I decided to give it my full focus, and that is the key point with this emotional healing. You have to be 100% committed. It was becoming much easier to talk about traumatic events. Saying names that would otherwise trigger off anxiety weren't hard to say anymore. I got my life energy back. I was enjoying long conversations with friends, family, and even strangers with no anxiety at all. I really felt like I got my life back. I even regained the confidence to go back into a working industry that was previously too difficult for me to be in. Robert uses traditional techniques during his therapy, but it's his revolutionary new approach to the mind-body relationship, plus his acute understanding of psychology, that makes the therapy so effective.